Hi guys, this is another unboxing video, and I've only really cut everything down just so personal information isn't shared. And this is what it looks like. Let's check it out. Oh wow. Packaged very well. Okay, let's get that out of the way. So these are Hoyas. This is the Croniana Silver. It used to be called Eskimo. I don't know why. But it has like a silvery splash. And this is a Hoya obovata. Story time. I thought I had a Hoya obovata for almost a year now. And I was incorrect. I was sold an obovata, but it was an Australis. So I did combine my Australis with the obovata, and they were both the same. And because I'm a newbie with Hoya, or Hoya plants, I really didn't know. And I thought that they were, you know, I trusted the seller. Haven't bought anything from that seller anymore. But just look at that. I waited for this particular plant itself from this seller. Because I asked her a few things about it, and we were waiting for new growth before I was going to purchase from her. So it was like a little over a week or two, I think. And I was very impatiently waiting. I didn't want to be annoying, you know, but I did message her a few times, and like, any development. I hope she wasn't annoyed, but I was just excited and I wanted to see the progress. But anyway, I will try to get this out, because I will be putting her in a pot with this new substrate that I just recently made. It is basically homemade pond, or lechuza pond, homemade lechuza pond. What is lechuza pond? Lechuza pond is a few different things. It has 3 different kinds of rocks in there, and then they put a coating in there, and they also put in slow release fertilizer that lasts for 6 months. It's very hard to get in the US currently, so I wasn't able to do that. I have purchased lechuza product before, and they're very good, just not the pond. Pond is basically a medium or substrate, which is what you can use instead of soil, or coco coir, or orchid bark, or orchid mix, or Hoya mix, or cactus soil, things like that. Things that the roots are going to be able to grab and take a hold of. So I did my research, and I only wanted to use the rocks, so I did that, and I mixed it up, and I did that kind of like a last resort, because some of my Hoyas that are very new for me, they're not doing so hot. And so the only, you know, the beginner basic Hoya that's really, really easy for beginners, I would recommend, would be a carnosa. Any type of carnosa is very easy. All of them, I have 4 different plants, 2 Crimson Princesses, 2 out of 4 that are actually all in regular potting soil mix, and I've never had a problem with them. I've only had them for about a year, and so I've never had a problem, but I was told that it can take a few years, like 3 to 5 years, before they can flower. But again, I've never had a problem with them growing, and that was the beginning for me to really like Hoyas. So I got more Hoyas, and they just started dying. Because Hoya, each variety is very different, and they can be very, very easy to kill. And so that's what happened to me. And so my Obscura, my Pallida, and those 2 are kind of like not the greatest looking ones in my personal opinion, but they're also in very, very tiny pots when I got them, which I'm always scared to do that. But Hoyas, even pre-COVID, was always kind of in the pricey side, because they're very, they're not the easiest, I think, to cultivate or to grow. So that's why the prices are still pretty high, during COVID, and I guess the rest of our lives. So this is a Hoya obovata. Oh, it's a splash. I don't know what it is, but I really wanted like the regular obovata, but that's fine. I hope that the flowers are going to be the same, because I wanted just the obovata supposedly have very, very fragrant flowers, and it's very strong, and that's why I wanted to get an obovata. Obovata supposedly is very easy to grow as well. So, and I think it's because she got like thicker leaves, but I don't know, because my Palida got thicker leaves and she's okay. She's okay, but they're not thriving, but I've only had them for a short amount of time, and sometimes, I think like the smaller plants, because their root systems are smaller, they can tend to acclimate longer versus a bigger plant, because they're more well established. The root system is heavier and bigger, and it's just easier for them to acclimate. I do use anti-shock with all of my plants, so they don't get shocked even when I move them around, because I move my plants around sometimes. So here it is. I've been wanting to get I don't even know how to say it, Croniana, okay, Croniana, and there are 3 different kinds. One is like green, one is the silver, and one is the black. And the silver was the one that really, initially I was like iffy about it, because I preferred the green, but then there was this one seller that she had 2 different kinds. It fell through because she just didn't, she's never like sold anything online basically, so it fell through. She was scared of shipping somewhere really far. I'm just doing this so you guys can see the packaging and how well she did that, because I'm actually going to take this out and put them in these self-watering pots. And don't worry, I will be linking them down below and where I got these. And also I will be sharing my new substrate for Hoyas. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just going to, let's see, I'll take this away. Just put it over there so we can continue. Put that right there. Oh. Just easier clean up, you know. So I'm just gonna take this out. What I do with these, I keep them. I used to just toss them out, but I think I started about a year ago. I started to keep them, and the reason I started to keep them is because I've started to know how to clip and propagate, and I think I'm doing a great job. Not perfect, but great job. And I use these sometimes for like clippings and new clippings that I want to grow. So it's been kind of fun really clipping. I've been asked if I sold my stuff. No, I just either make my pots fuller or I put them in a bigger pot. And so far that's just what I've been doing. I'm not like advanced. So that's why I'm saying I'm doing a great job, but it's not perfect. Uh-oh. I think I gotta like soak this. Here's a tip. If you get the roots wet, it's easier to separate them from whatever medium they're in, so you can transplant them well. It's just, I'm always asked, should you get a Hoya? If you've never owned a Hoya, I don't recommend it. Hoya is a different disease than being a plant parent. It just, because their leaves are, I don't know, for me, the leaves are beautiful, and they can be very rewarding in regards to how they grow, but they can also be very frustrating. So I don't really suggest Hoyas, because it's a dark obsession. in my personal opinion. It's a really dark obsession. But if you're already a collector and you're probably more advanced than I am, I've only started to wet my toes in the Hoya world. And what I can say though is that there are a few Hoya groups that are just dedicated for Hoya groups on Facebook. And if you're very, very new to Hoyas, I would suggest you join them. I will try to link them down below if I remember. And if not, just leave it in the comment section to make sure to remind me to add it in the description section. So if you want to join those groups, feel free to do that, because there are people that have been growing Hoyas before I was even born. And it's just wow. Like, I'm there to read posts. I'm there to ask a ton of questions. I'm there to like get some Hoya porn. So yeah. And there are some people in there that love to share their Hoya pictures, especially when they're blooming. And it just, oh my God, like it's just Hoya goals. But anyway, so here they are. I'm going to have to get this wet so I could take this off, because I've been, it seems like I've broken a few of the root systems, which I really shouldn't. I should really stop doing that, because like if you can see here, it's, it really got embedded in the cocoa chips. I think these are cocoa chips. They're not cocoa coir, because cocoa coir is more grounded than these. So if you want to do a Hoya soil mix, which I am very unsuccessful, which I've followed a lot of people on my Hoya groups and blogs and videos and whatnot. And what I did was I mixed cactus soil, I mixed orchid bark and perlite, like 1 part each. And my SBAFF Burtney is actually not doing so hot, and my I don't even know how to say it, my numerlioides or something like that is also getting kind of iffy. And those are 2 of my newer ones, and they're more established than these 2. So I will eventually move them into a different substrate, which would be the homemade pond that I've made. I do need more because I've already used them, and I do need a bigger pot for them. I was just kind of testing them out with like the smaller ones here, and so far they're doing a good job. But I know there were a lot of people that asked me to share and share a video and all that stuff, and I will eventually. It's just, you know, busy, but I will hopefully. So I know it's a lot longer than it was, but this was much easier to take off. And the reason I took it off bare root is because when I have it in substrate here, you don't really have an older medium. Like, this will soak up a ton of the water, and it could give you root rot. This can soak up all of that, and because my substrate is basically just a different rocks, basically rocks, what will happen is, what I don't want to happen is that it could, like these parts could soak it and it could rot the rest. So I'm trying to make it as airy as possible, and hopefully that will be better for me, because I'm actually doing that with my orchids, and Hoyas and orchids are very similar. I can't pronounce the kind of plant that they are. It starts with an E. So my orchids are constantly blooming, and I use them in self-watering pots like these. They're bigger pots though, and they're constantly blooming. If their flowers have wilted and fallen, they're constantly growing new buds, and then it's just constant. So that's what I'm trying to do with my Hoyas now. I'm trying to transition them from a regular pot into a self-watering pot, because that might be it. Because if it's just constantly feeding water whenever they need it, and it gives out humidity, I think, I mean, my orchids have been with me for, I think, 2 years now, constantly blooming. But I also do feed it with a lot of different things. If you're curious about that, I think I have a plant vlog for one of my orchids in the self-watering pot. I'll try to link it down below in the description section, but if it's not there, just look for it. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. You can hit the like, subscribe, and of course the bell, so you're notified every single time I do upload a new video. Everything will be in the description section. I'm going to try as much as possible, including my social media accounts. So if you're interested to connect in other formats, it's down below. And if you guys have any tips, tricks in regards to Hoyas, like I said, I'm very, very new to Hoyas. If you haven't seen my other videos relating to Hoyas and my experience in them, it's not perfect. So it's trial and error, which is what happens and how I think I learn, and a lot of people should learn in regards to being a plant parent. So here it is, my obovata, and she's splashy. I was expecting a plain green one, but that's okay. It's fine, I suppose. And this is my Croniana Silver, and I just love the color of the leaves. It's just beautiful. So this is gonna be like my project in the next probably half hour to get these out. And I will put them in this right there, put my substrate in here, put that in here, water it. Same with this one. And I do have 2 out like that. And hopefully they just thrive. There you go. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. And if there's anything else, please feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. I love hearing from you guys all the time. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.